that you believe that are important and need to be discussed. So, give us a call and we can definitely get these topics on air. We can have some discussions. We can pull you in if you really feel very passionate about it. The number is it went away too fast. So basically, you call in. So every single thing on this earth revolves around love, right? So I am Miss Love Doctor, and I plan on pushing this love like weight, y'all. I plan on pushing this love like weight. I already know I get on a few people's nerves already. I can name at least one person that has specifically told me to get my self-righteous ass off of their post. I don't mean to laugh, but it's hilarious. Like, don't come over here with all that positive talk because I don't want to hear it. That's who we need to talk to. Those are the people that we need to talk to. Um, I just, on the flip side of having these deep conversations, we definitely have to tap into the love portion of it because I think that's what's missing. And I think it's needed. It's an essential need for everyone. And that goes back to all the same people who quote unquote hate us, every race, every religion, every class. It doesn't matter who you are. You need love. And I just so happen to be a person who love love. Like I love love. I love the thought of being in love. I love the feeling of love. I love when I see cute things and I'm like, "Oh, that was like love." Like you can see it sometimes and you can feel it. And there's really nobody on this earth that can really tell me, you know what, real love don't exist. And I'm just gonna be like, okay, because I know it's a lie. I know that it's a lie. Love definitely exists, and it's in everything that we require. It's in everything that we do. Like when they say when you cook, they be like, oh, this was cooked with love. Like, oh, okay, you can taste it. You can taste the love in there. Cool. Because I was definitely sprinkling a little love in there when I was making it. But every single thing on this earth that's living needs love. And that goes down to animals and plants and people and everything. Because if all my green thumb people, where my green thumb people at? What do they say to you when you have your plants? They say, um, well, you gotta talk to your plants. You gotta show them some love. And I do not have a green thumb. But I acquired 4 new little plants, and every time they're like drooping a little bit, I'll go over there and rub the little leaf or whatever, give it a little bit of water and give it a little bit of sunshine. They stand right back up. They stand right back up. I'm like, okay, well, you definitely need to have love. And we all need to have like different levels of love and different types of love. So we're gonna go through a different couple types of love. And my very, very favorite type is agape. Just in case you guys didn't know what that was, it's unconditional love. That's what we all require, and that's a real thing. Um, that's the first love that we all have, like even from mom to baby and everything like that. And a baby, I always use a baby because I feel like a baby is an example of like pure, authentic love. I know some people might use like a puppy or something, but I love my puppy, true and all, and I know that my dog needs love because it shows me every single time that it needs love. But a baby, when you have the baby, the first thing they say to you is put the baby to your chest, put the baby chest to chest, skin to skin, because the baby needs to feel that love and connection, right? So a baby is so pure and authentic because they haven't been, excuse me, they haven't been tainted yet. So they have all the agape love that you need. And I think that once we get back to that love, it's curtains. It's curtains for the hate. But another thing is that I call my intake for my new clients agape intake because I want them to know that this is the first level of love. I want you to come in, and that's where we're going to get you back to. So when you call, we're going to restore you to your first love, which is yourself, right? So then we have filial love. That's affectionate love. And that's where you got that physical touch and where hugs come into play. Do you guys know that hugs decrease depression and anxiety? It's a real thing. Look it up. Now, this one I have a hard time saying, even though it's the main one and it's key to my business, Keys Royalty House of Love. It's philautia, and that's self love. Everybody should work hard on this. And I mean, work hard on a daily, because if you don't have self love, you don't have no love. I don't care what you say. You might have a man, you might have a woman, you might have a husband, you might have several, whatever it is that you have kids, you have family, and you think that you're this loving person, but you don't like yourself, you don't love yourself. You're not giving out real authentic love, because if you don't love yourself, how can you possibly love anybody else? It's impossible. And if you want to argue about it, call me. So then we have storge, and that's familiar love. And that's the love that we have with our friends and our families and, coworkers or associates, people that you meet. And you're like, you know what? I love them. Like you might not like deeply love them, but you got a love for them. You care for them. And then we have pragma. That's enduring love. And that's something that's like long lasting and very caring. You want enduring love. We want all these loves. There's one that's a little scary. So we have to be clear about that. We got ludus love. That's playful love, because you should have fun while you're in love. You should have fun, period. Life should be fun. Not saying that it should be fun all the time, but you definitely should have times in your life where it is based on fun. It is. Let's just be clear. Because if you have all work and no play, you know exactly what they say. Now, mania love is obsessive love. So I think that's where you got that thin line between love and hate. And you very much have to be careful with this type of love, because you don't necessarily want somebody to be obsessive with you. I was at a comedy show the other night, and the girl, she started off and she was like, anybody ever had a stalker? And I was looking like, oh, where is this about to go? And when she said it, I had to think, like, have I ever had a stalker? Like, is that love cute? Like, sometimes we all think, like, like, it's cute. He loved me. He followed me. He chased me and all that. Like, but is it cute though? Or if you have a woman showing up at your job all in the name of love, I don't think that that's really what it is. Sometimes you have to pay attention to those things, pay attention to those signs, and you have to create positive boundaries for yourself so that it doesn't turn into something that's dangerous for you. It could be very dangerous, and we all know, we've all seen mania love a little bit. Even if you haven't seen it in your personal life, you've seen it on a movie or a TV show or with a friend, right? So, if some of us have had some minor cuts and bruises, all the way down to bullet wounds, we need a prescription that Big Pharma is not prescribing, right? Big Pharma got some pills for you. Big Pharma got some prescriptions for you. But I got a prescription that you need and money can't buy. Is love. Even though my shirt says I sell love. And I do. But you know what I'm saying. I definitely am, putting those prescriptions out there. So with that being said, I am Ms. Love Doctor. No PhD yet. And I am the owner of Keys Royalty House of Love, Keys Royalty Travel, and I have a brand new baby. I'm so excited about it. I have not introduced it yet, but it's a nonprofit called Keys Do Love Mommies. Super, super excited about it. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. For those who don't know me, Miss Love Doctor, hi. And I am just a girly Midwestern tomboy chick. I have a clothing line that says tomboy chick because that's me. That's totally me. We're always outside with the boys, playing, running, jumping, flipping, jumping off houses, breaking my leg, all that stuff. Because I have brothers, so I ain't have no choice. But I was always super, super girly too. So I would bring my baby outside to play football, because we're maternal anyway. We're very maternal. I've been in Vegas 17 years now. I have been told by a few natives I don't want people to be like, this girl, you ain't from Vegas and you ain't and doing your hand like this. I don't want none of that. I've been told by some Vegas natives that I am now a native. They said, listen, you 17 years in the game, you from Vegas now. I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. But I normally say that I'm a tri-city chick, right? Because I grew up partially in Chicago. I grew up partially in Minnesota. And now here I am in Las Vegas. So um, when I hit the 10-year mark in Vegas, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just make this a thing and move every 10 years so that I can experience different places and really have a whole conversation, have a whole plethora of cultural experience and different hoods, hood to hood, and meet new people and just find new things. So every single time that I was getting ready to leave, because I wanted to be like, I could say, I lived in Chicago, I lived in St. Paul, Minnesota, I lived in Vegas, then I lived in Hawaii, and then I retired in Africa, because that's the plan, etc. But you know what? Once I began to like get ready and leave, the way the pros and the cons is like the pros to Vegas would outweigh the cons due to the type of lifestyle that I want to live. You know what I mean? Like, and I had to say, like, Vegas kind of probably have me a little bit spoiled. Sometimes I get an attitude with myself because my grandmother asked me to move out here when I was 19, and I declined. I was like, I don't want to live in Vegas. I don't gamble. I don't do this. I ain't no showgirl. And whatever my assumptions of Vegas was, I didn't want no part of it. So I didn't end up moving out here for another maybe 5 or 6 years. But I'm happy I did. And look at me now, Hot 702.5, a Vegas based station by a Vegas native. I love it. So almost 18 years in the game. I've had some amazing times. I've met some amazing people. I received my associate's degree at CSN, and then I got my bachelor's degree at UNLV. Where's all my alumni? Whoop whoop, class of what? I started off working here. It's a funny story because when I was ready to go, this is the thing about when you done, like even with relationships, when you done, you're done. And can't nobody tell you nothing. So I contacted my cousin that lived here, and she worked for Clark County, still works for Clark County, and she mailed me applications. That's back then when you could mail an application, right? And I just filled out one application and I made several copies of it, mailed them all back to her. She turned them all in. And I got my first job within the first week of being here. And I worked at Parks and Recreation for Clark County. And I worked at Parkdale Rec Center. I actually just rode past there the other day and I was like, wow, I might have to come do a story here because this was legit my first job in Las Vegas, and I got hired the same week that I was here. Like I got here on a Saturday, and I thought it was so dope when I got here and I can get my driver's license the same day. I was freaked out. I was sending everybody back home like, "Bam, look at me! I got my driver's license today," and I had my job by Wednesday, so I'm blessed in that. Like I literally got here and hit the ground running. So that was my very first job, and I learned a lot about children at that job. Okay, with the rec center, it taught me just about the transitions in life that kids go through, and it seems like once we get to adult status, we forget all about the child transition, which we all went through. And I would always be like, "Which room am I working in? Am I working in a room with the toddlers, which is the crybabies? Then you got the bad babies, which was in the middle, and then you got the teenagers, that the preteens that know it all." So I used to be like, "Which one? Who am I working with?" So I can get my mind set to go. But in the midst of that, but I had a really good summer. But in the midst of that, I got a job at a company called Pinnacle. So I had two jobs. I was here. I was hustling. Like I said, I hit the ground working, and I love that job because I work nights. So even though I was here by myself, I didn't have no friends. I still like to go out. I like to still do all the things that I did. So I would go out and I would go to work and fit right in and do my own thing. And I had some great coworkers there, and we all understood the assignment, so it made work very, very smooth. And so within Clark County, I moved around. I guess you could say I promoted. I didn't look at it as a promotion. I just was trying to do different things that interest me. So I left Parkdale and I went and I started working as an assistant for Park Police. And I really liked working at Park Police. That's what even gave me a glimpse of what it can look like for a law enforcement. And I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you. Working for a law enforcement in St. Paul, Minnesota, is not something that you think about. Like, I need to go work for the police. No, you think about how bad you hate the police and how much you don't want to see them because you don't want to be harassed. So when I got here and I realized, like, man, this is a whole new world. And I started to talk to people like, we do need more of us in the police department. We definitely need more of us in the police department because we need somebody who understands us and looks like us, right? I left Park Police and I work for payroll, still Parks and Recs, work for payroll. Loved that. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Had a nasty situation there, which we could talk about that another day. And from there, I went to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I worked there for about 8 years as a correction assistant. Dope job. Loved it. That's when I really started pushing it. Like, you need to test. You need to test. You need to test. We need to be working in here. But yeah, I love that. And then leaving there, I went back to the county to the marriage bureau. And that's where I fell in love with all things marriages and all things love and all things weddings. I'm like, oh my God, like I love doing this. Like I loved working there. Okay. Especially when you got people that came in and they was like super, super happy. And they're like, oh my God, we're getting married. Like you could feel the love between the two of them. And then the therapist, as you would say, in me could clearly see the ones that are in there like, sign, sign. Or you could see the ones in there that were like, she's 20 and he's 70. So I'll let y'all sit with that. So although I'm a tomboy chick and I love me some gym shoes and a skirt, I happen to love glitter and I love love. I feel that with all my heart that everyone deserves to have real, authentic, healthy love in their lives. This is just really what I wish for everyone because it's true. I am a hopeful romantic. I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeless at all because I'm not going to give up the hope on love and romance because I know that it's a real thing and I know that people acquire it. If that was the case, what are we out here looking for? I know there's one thing that we're all out here there that some of us are out here looking for, but overall, we're all looking for something. And it's not no rotten, toxic, unhealthy relationship. That's not what it is. We need something that's very, very very, very healthy. You know, I'm confident in human love. I know that it still exists. I know that it's obtainable. I trust love. I trust Black love. I trust and believe that we can all accomplish this successful, healthy, and I'm saying heavy on the healthy love, and I'm saying relationships and heavy on the love and heavy on the relationships because you have to have relationships with people. I'm not saying in a relationship, but I'm saying you have to have relationships with people. And if you can't have relationships with people, then how are you going to be? So if you can't heal your own mind, body and soul, everywhere you go you just dripping drops of toxic blood and other people is mixing and meshing, and here you go, now people are fighting in the 7-Eleven. It's the craziest thing ever. So I know that sometimes this is like a tough thing for people to even discuss because, like I said, most times we think we got it all together. Like I know that I still got a whole lot of work to do for me. I am not in denial about anything. I am fully aware that it takes a full-time job to try to stay on track, to stay healthy and keep your mind, body, and soul clear. It's a full-time job, okay? But I know that putting your feet in the mud, it get messy. So sometimes you don't want to do that. Like you don't know if it's quicksand. You probably got some new tennis shoes on or some new gym shoes on or some nice Jimmy shoes or whatever you wear. So you ain't trying to step in that mud because it gets too messy, right? But once it gets a little messy and uncomfortable, it's definitely uncomfortable, but we could clean that up and bandage it up with a little bit of TLC and heal that thing right on up. And guess what? You remember when you were in the mud. You remember when you were in the mud, but you're not in the mud anymore and you're all clean from the mud. So I always use a lot of analogies. I know. So you'll hear those along the show, especially the step on my foot one. You probably get tired of that one, but I definitely feel like people step on your feet, and it'll come up, trust me. But I think that love is the most powerful piece of the puzzle to life, right? I understand the power of love. I don't know if everybody understands it, but it's the only thing that can create change, and it can move forces within the universe. Um, so I'm writing these prescriptions to repair and restore love. It has been my mission for a very long time. I trust that I'm gonna be pushing this love like weight, and everybody needs a love vaccine. Yeah, I'm working on that. Don't try to steal it. I said it here first. That love vaccine. Don't be a thief now. So, and I love humans. I love humans. Some of y'all get on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie. No, but I have a soft spot for the underdog. That's only because we need somebody to support the underdog. And for one, we are the underdogs. If you really think about where we are in this hierarchy of life, right? But as far as just being as just an individual, we're not even going to talk about the hierarchy of life. As an individual, you have to have somebody to support the underdog. Like you bet when you go bet on a fight, you bet on the underdog sometimes because you want them to win. You want to see them come up. You want to see them come up. You know what I mean? And that's what I want for everybody. Like I've been the underdog so many times, but somebody showing me a little bit of love and a little bit of compassion and a little bit of understanding, it helped me make things out of a way that was no way. Just because somebody had a little bit of love in their heart to give. You know what I mean? And they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that at all. But I made it through, and it was probably one of the toughest times that I've had in my life. So that person just showing me that little bit of love showed me that I could do the same thing for somebody else. And I always tell the story about the person that, you know, you can see them walking down the street and you smile at them and it makes their whole entire day. Makes their whole entire day. Change their whole plan on what they was getting ready to go do. Like, why is she smiling at me? Why is she being nice to me? Because they probably had somebody that was being mean to them the whole entire time. Parents probably been mean to them their whole entire life. They find somebody that's nice to them. Either one or two things gonna happen. They're not gonna know how to handle it because it's probably too much. Like you being nice. And I'm guilty of that. I am very, very guilty of that. I get to a place where I'm like, this is too good to be true. What's up? Tell me what's going on. Tell me what is the issue, you know? But ever since I was a little girl, I've always been the helper, like the helper in the family and doing things that you probably wouldn't imagine. Like now that I think back, doing things as is just this little girl in the house. I always wanted to help people. I was always passionate about it. I always wanted to see people do good. I always wanted to bring everybody with me and take everybody to the top. And I realized that, sometimes you got to take care of yourself first before you can do anything for anybody else. So sometimes me helping people, I probably will help the wrong people a lot, majority of the time. But you know what they say, you get your blessings from not the fact that, the art of helping somebody. You did it because you get your blessings because you're a good person and you're trying to be a good person. So I try not to allow everybody and their nastiness to change me too much. But overall, like sometimes, you kind of get fed up with things and you're like, you know what, too much. Too much. Let me just scale back on everything. And when it's time for me to help somebody, it's gonna be the right person. So going into this career was just like, okay, realizing that we all suffer from like unfortunate circumstances that really has nothing to do with us. That goes back to what I was saying about being a product of your environment, right? You're a product of your environment. So you have all these unfortunate circumstances that you didn't even conflict on yourself. So definitely being a part of your healing process, unpacking that stuff, realizing like, dang, I have been acting like this and it didn't have anything to do with me. Yeah, let's unpack it. Let's deal with it. Let's get all this stuff out. You know what I mean? Because your environment has nothing to do with everything else. And no matter who you are, and I'm gonna say it again, what race, what class, what gender, whatever, um, we all have the same essential needs. And that baby, when you have that chest to chest reaction, they all of a sudden they just feel secure. They know exactly who their mom is. Never met this person in the life, but you know that this is your mom. And speaking of moms, my mom, she always called me little mama, and she always bragged on her children, right? And I always be like, because I'm so humbled and I don't want nobody ever to think that like I'm bragging, like about anything. I always downplay everything. So my mom would just be like, my kids is the shit. And I was like, Mom, like we ain't even did nothing. Like we regular schmegular people. Like we haven't done anything. And my mom be like, shit, not my kids, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that I'm here, I had to make sure that I put this part in our conversation because my mom made a little bit of history within my life, and she passed away last year. So that is still some healing for me. But I had to make sure that I shot my mom out in heaven, because I know they had the whole cheering section up there, and she like, I told y'all. I told y'all. So the fact that my mom always bragged on us and she was always so proud of us, I got to make it my mission to give her something to be bragging about and give her something to be proud about. So shout out to you, mama. She Tony's kids, I love you. And we finna get this thing together. So with that being said, I am certified in a few things. Like I said, I got my associates, I got my bachelor's in human services, all while the pandemic, all these things were coming up, and I started to get certified in different things because of what I was researching and what I wanted to spread to people. So I became a restoration life coach. When you get certified, they tell you you have to narrow down your niche. Like, what kind of life coach are you? I'm like, I don't know what kind of life coach I'm going to be. I have no idea. And I was like, you know what? Restoration. And I've always said I was going to restore. I've always said, let's do this. Let's repair this. Let's fix that. And I looked up the definition, and it says to revive. Well, this is the definition that I put together. Reviving the human existing, restoring the universal condition while repairing the most important muscular organ, which is the heart. But restoring is the act of restoring, renewing, reviving, and reestablishing, returning something to the former, original, or normal, unimpaired condition. And the heart is being one of the most important muscular organs. It's the central or the innermost part of something, right? So you'll say the heart of the city. So the heart is right here. It's in the center of you. In life, it's the general or universal condition of human existence. A coach is someone who acts in the directing or the strategizing behavior, advising their team members on how to win, right? And a life coach is a person who advises their clients on how to solve their problems and reach their goals in life. And that's exactly what I do, right? So reconnecting humans with the fundamentals to be successful, achieving their goals, what they would like to achieve in life, while mending their hearts, while restoring the most important love. And I forgot how to say it, self-love, and using different therapeutic strategic tools to help us navigate through the obstacles, because we have obstacles in life, and they have, like I said, they have nothing to do with us, but you do need to repair. Because if you get a cut and you don't fix your cut, what happens to this cut? It's going to get infected, it's going to get nasty, it's going to be green. Eventually you're going to have to give it some TLC no matter what, you know. And when we're born free of hate and anguish, depending on, the pregnancy, which that's a different conversation. But if you start off this way and then life changes you in another way and keeps turning you in different directions, we have to go back. We have to reset. We have to hit that reset button, and we have to reestablish a different type of positive mindset, right? Filling you up where you're depleted. Life without love is like a tree without beauty of its blossoms, of its fruit it bears. I felt like I was on my Billy D-ish when I said that. So y'all just see how smooth that was, right? But the best things in life is to hold on to is each other. And we hold on to each other whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But if we all hold on to each other and we're all good, then where would we be, right? And they always say that it's better to love to have lost love than never loved at all. And I say, why not we all love, and then there will be no love lost at all, right? That's why building healthy relationships is key. So I became a relationship coach because as a life coach, a lot of couples were coming to me anyway. So I'm like, I better get certified in this so I can know what I'm talking about. So I specialize in healing individuals to restore successful relationship and marriages and healthy relationships all across the board. This goes for parenting, this goes for spousal, this goes for family, this goes for coworkers, customers, employees, bosses. Like, we need to know how to have relationships with each other so we can know how to communicate with each other, so that we can coexist with each other, because being nasty to each other is not working, you know? And I nurture authentic connections between new couples who want to get it right first. I love the new couples that want to get it right first, because they're like, listen, let's get to know each other on a more deeper level to see if this really works. Let's see if we really love each other the way we think we do, or are we infatuated with each other? And then we have the most important one is reconnecting couples who have become stagnant in their relationships. You work with the couples, you help them to resolve and build or rebuild, because you got to think some couples aren't built on chemistry or intimacy. So we're going to rebuild that chemistry, or build it from the ground up, build a brand new foundation with chemistry and intimacy and companionship, because we have to have companionship in our relationships. And I don't mean sex when I say intimacy. I mean intimacy on all levels, emotionally, sexually, financially. Find out the deeper core of the person that you are in relationship with, right? So the one we form with each other is it's vital to our own mental and emotional well-being anyway. It has a lot to do with our very own survivals. And humans have a fundamental desire to be close to one another. We do. If that was the case, why would they use solitary confinement as a form of punishment? Because they know that we need human relationships, and we need to be around each other, and we need to fulfill each other with love. And I love being the person that joined the two. I love it. Right. So, of course, that brings me to being a marriage officiant. Let me tell you, it gives me great joy to do weddings. It is so dope. And like I said, I started off at the marriage bureau at the Clark County, and I love that job so much. And we would have a week where, it would be your week. It would call the Chambers Week, where you were the one that married people all week. So, um, I always think like, because people come here, this is the marriage capital of the world, Craig. And I would be like, who have I married, and where do they stay? And how many people's living rooms or wedding photo albums am I in? Because I have no clue. I wonder if I could look that up and see how many people I've married with the marriage bureau. I'm gonna have to contact my people, know some people who know some people. You know what I mean? As soon as they asked me, did I want to take a picture? You already know I was right up in there, like, yes, indeed. So, being the marriage capital of the world, when you go down to the marriage bureau, it's such an excitement that you can't even really explain. It's inexplainable, because people come there, they're so excited. And like I said earlier, some of them not so much, but the cute part is, and I know it probably sounds crazy, but like, I've seen a couple 3 times. They married, divorced, married, divorced, married, in divorce. Well, is that 3 or 4? You know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, they were coming back to get married again. And I just had to ask, I was like, what is it that keeps bringing you guys back together? They were like, we can't stay apart. And I was like, well, what are you guys going to do to fix it and work it out? So I've been this person, right? And the funny part about Ms. Love Doctor is, when I used to give comments, when I used to give relationship advice to people, I always be like, hashtag Miss Love Doctor, you know what I'm saying? Let them know who helped you out, all along, not knowing that this Miss Love Doctor was going to come into fruition. This was like well over 10 years ago. And I looked at a couple other things, and I did a vision board like 5 years ago. I did another thing in school, and I always put Miss Love Doctor. I was like, wow, I have been manifesting this thing the whole time. So when you come get married with me, guaranteed it's going to be a ceremony fit for kings and queens, because I believe we're all royalty. Everything that I do, keys, royalty, house of love, like, everybody needs to be treated like royalty, because we are. You are a king and you are a queen in your own right, and you should be treated as royalty. But the beauty of it is that I'm a travel agent, that I specialize in destination weddings, and I can do you some Las Vegas wedding packages. We can also work on your honeymoon. Like, we definitely can get you in some loving things going on. And we can have some pre and post um, life relationship coaching. And when you do pre, it's just to make sure that you have a strong, healthy relationship. When you do post, it's just making sure that the connection between the two of you continue to grow. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. I'm gonna talk about my little baby real quick, and it's my postpartum doula company, Keys Do Love Mommies. We'll be having a grand opening soon. but it is to cater to the mothers and the families of people who have children and they need to heal. The importance of healing. We will talk about postpartum on here. It is going to be a topic all by itself because I think the education in it is very important. And we kind of get over that a little bit too much. And we definitely don't give these people the room and the time that they need, to heal. But I teach it's more than just the healing aspect of it. It's teaching new parents about parenting skills. You get a mommy and me makeover. I'm working with my best friend with K Nicole Looks. She's creating mommy makeovers for my new mommies to make them feel, and daddies. I don't always want to say daddies, but the mommies have the babies. Okay, you guys are a great support system, and without you, there wouldn't be no children. No, I'm not taking nothing away from my dad. So, but we do have to cater to these moms. So life skills, parenting skills, lactation consultant, just different things. Even if you needed help with crying cues or just to take a nap, just to be like, you know what? I am tired and I need to lay down. I need to lay down. So, with that being said, I hope you learned a little bit about me and what I do and exactly what Let's Talk Love is going to be geared towards. It's definitely going to be matters of the heart, and sometimes these conversations are not going to always be so squeaky clean and beautiful and all about love. We are going to talk about some muddy issues, and all going to be solution based so that we can figure some things out and move forward and be better as humans and have a better life and live authentically until we check out and go to the other side. All right, y'all. So, any questions, comments, y'all make sure y'all inbox me. On my social media is at Ms. Love Doctor. That's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's Facebook, Ms. Love Doctor, MizzLovedoctor. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Definitely shoot me some topics. I got a plethora, don't worry. I got a couple events coming up with Let's Talk Love as well. So, you guys tune in for those, and we definitely gonna be talking about love, y'all, and I hope everybody gets something out of it. I hope when you leave, that your heart is a little bit lighter, and you feel good about yourself because we're gonna be talking about self a lot. So make sure y'all tap in, log in to Hot 702.5, and send me some stars and all that stuff I'll be seeing on there. And we're gonna have some conversations, y'all. I love y'all.